Bienvenidos a Telescope, el programa para emprendedores que te ayudará a proyectar y llevar tu negocio al siguiente nivel.
Welcome to Telescope, the podcast for entrepreneurs that helps you start up and take your business to the next level.
Hello and welcome to Telescope Podcast. Let me introduce our guest, Steven Rodriguez, a leader in the community, experienced in organizing events about entrepreneurship all around the world. Also have a digital marketing experience with their own company, Blondship. Steven, how are you today?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
What do I say about myself? So I am a Colombian American. I am originally from New York City. I came to DC for politics in 2014. I found out that the culture wasn't that nice. It wasn't collaborative. And then because of it, I found entrepreneurship by mistake, but I've been loving it ever since.
And I just want to know also about the project that you have right now. I understand you involved with the community, with entrepreneurship, but and also you have your own company and your own project.
Yeah, no. Once I found entrepreneurship, I started to go to different events like Startup Weekend just to learn the ideas, like what is a business and how do I take an idea into something that has, sustainable. I just started to get feedback. I joined a startup so I can learn from others who have built businesses or were starting to build businesses. And then, my core strength was marketing, how to help other people find out more about my product or the service that I'm working for somebody else. And so I decided to do that as a side hustle, as a freelancer. That's how I began, and then started to save and money. And then over time, I just incorporated back in 2016. And then 2018, I went the plunge to be full-time on my business.
Based on your experience, what's the meaning about entrepreneurship for you?
Entrepreneurship is all about problem solving. What are the problems that you're seeing around you? And then what are the solutions you can bring? And then is there something that people are willing to pay for? Because that problem is so big in their lives and enough people have that problem.
Wow, this is a great definition. Steven, how do you know when you had the right idea?
I feel that when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have lots of ideas. And so I hear many times, where do I start? Which one do I do? And I would say pick the one that you love, that you're passionate about, but also the one that will help you bring in money the quickest, because you probably want to grow that out and then fund the other project or ideas that you have for yourself.
Yes, as you said before, passion is important to continue to build the things and ideas.
I would say mostly passion, because in entrepreneurship, there's going to be lots of challenges. There's going to be lots of highs and lows. It's like a roller coaster, more lows than highs. And it's the passion that will actually keep you moving forward. If it's not something you love, then you're going to give up right away, or you're more likely to give up sooner.
How do you connect the things that you know, like digital marketing, to the entrepreneurship world?
How do I connect them? Well, I know that, on a personal level, we all have a personal brand. I'm Steven, let's say, and I'm either looking for a job, so I need to sell myself to other people, and I know businesses also need to sell themselves and their product. They have to build trust, and not everybody was good at that. So I found different community groups that, hey, how do we be better at marketing? Well, let me help you out because I know how to do this. And I learned from my past experiences, but also doing their projects as well. And that's how
You create the opportunity. It's a good thing to start.
Yep. I felt like I had lots of help along the way. So I was very fortunate that there were programs like Techstars, Startup Weekend, Operation Hope, and all these other community programs to kind of help me think through how to build the business model. Because one thing is to say, I like this idea and I want to do it. But unless you're getting paid from it, it's more of a hobby. So how do I make sure that I'm building a business model around the idea?
Okay, what country do you want to replicate the Startup Weekend and all of the events that you organize and participate?
Yeah, no, I found lots of, an entrepreneur has a journey. So along their journey, and everybody is different and unique and has different challenges, there's different programs that help me overcome them. So I try to find the challenges that are missing, and I do programs to help people. What I've learned in DC I've been recently going to Bogota, Colombia. And so my family is originally from Pereira. And so I was just trying to find a way, how can I take this learning and help build entrepreneurship in Bogota? We're lucky that the administration there, the government is pro-entrepreneurship. So they seem to be pushing programs and initiatives to get people to learn about entrepreneurship and also to hopefully grow and accelerate. But I'm all data-driven. So how do I bring in different programs, get data to learn what are the challenges Colombians are facing in Bogota primarily as my starting point, and then what can I bring to fill in those gaps? So, for example, one of the programs that I brought over there is Startup Huddle. It's a monthly meetup, just helping. We bring 2 presenters every month to share mostly who they are, what they do, but the most important thing is, and again, it's a presentation, not a pitch. What's their biggest growth challenge? What's keeping them up at night? What stopping them from being successful in their business? And then the community that's there, we actually crowdsource solutions. So we all work together to give them ideas to get them unstuck. That could be through, hey, here's some resources that might help you with that challenge, or you should definitely talk to so-and-so, so let me connect you to them. Or there's a program that you actually are a good candidate for, so here's the link and check it out. So we try to foster community and help them just keep moving. But we also ask them questions at the point of registration. So for all our participants, we ask them, where are you in your entrepreneurship journey? Are you in a startup or not? What stage of that journey are you in? And then what's your biggest challenge? So right now we have a data set of around 600, and we're using that to be intentional because I feel like time is precious. We don't want to waste the entrepreneur's time. So what are the programs, the events that we should be doing for 2020 that speak to the programs, the challenges that they're telling us they have?
I totally agree with you. As an immigrant, I believe we have to connect talent and create partnership with the purpose of generate opportunities and also give back for the diaspora in our country.
Right. And I've learned that, I'm Colombian and, my family came to America, but at the end of the day, how do we give back to the country that we're from? And how do we, assist rather than complain and all that jazz that I keep hearing?
In that journey that you mentioned about entrepreneurship, what mistakes you wish you could avoid?
Oh man, I've made so many mistakes. Lots of entrepreneurs make mistakes, and that's part of the experience and the journey. If you make a mistake, don't feel bad, just learn from it. And you're going to make hundreds of mistakes before you reach success, whatever that means for you. I would say the biggest mistakes, if I had to look back right now, is 1, waiting for things to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Your product launch or, the marketing methods that you have, just go ahead and do it. You're going to learn by doing. And as long as you keep getting better and better over time, then that works. Lots of people say, no, I don't have the right, I didn't write this perfectly, or no, I don't have the right product launch, or I don't have the right this, that, and the other. And it'll, they'll delay themselves, and then years go by and they're still not where they want to be. And that either, causes you to delay because you're afraid that others are going to judge you, but it's okay. Just do it. You have my permission. If you need permission, you don't need anybody's permission. Just do it. And then 2, you might miss the market opportunity the more you wait.
Or what do you attribute your success?
My success, I think that goes to the second learning lesson. If I had to look back, the mistake I made early on is that, I try to do everything myself. And I learned that, no, it's I can go fast by myself, but with others, it's more of a marathon, not a sprint. So I can get further along in different things if I partner with other people. So at the beginning, it was just me trying to do it all, but I couldn't handle so many clients, let's say, if I got more than 2 or 3. If I partner with others, and I can probably take a few more clients, or I can specialize in something that I'm good at, and not waste my time on stuff that I'm probably not good at. And that's a better use of my time and resources for the business.
Okay, related with that, you mentioned something that is very important, is collaboration over competition, because usually, as an entrepreneur, you want to do everything and it's good, but at some point you need to receive any help. For that reason, I just want to ask you, what 3 tips do you have for entrepreneurs?
The 3 tips. 1, you learn by doing. Just go out there and do it, and you're going to learn, and you're probably going to fall on your face, and that's okay. As long as you're learning, that's good enough. 2, don't fall into the trap of, oh my goodness, I have to leave my job, my 9 to 5, and got to focus on the business. Otherwise, I won't be successful. You'd be surprised that lots of people, when they start, the startup or the business is their side hustle. It's not their main thing. They're working a 9 to 5 job. So it's okay. I mean, it's going to go a little slower, but at the end of the day, you need to feed yourself. You got to have a roof over your head, and it's okay to start off on the side to begin with, because you need to, especially if you have family, you can't take such a big risk of leaving your job. But just know that you need to work towards, how do I leave my job and how do I make this sustainable enough so I can focus on it full time? I would say another tip is more, don't be afraid to ask for help. I feel like many of us feel that, we need to show face, like, I'm being successful, I'm this, that, and the other. And we forget that in doing that, we kind of close ourselves off from being able to find others who can help us with the challenges that we have. That's why we focus a lot of the programming in Bogota around how to be comfortable with sharing what is your biggest challenge, because it's a cultural issue where people don't want to share that there's a problem, that something's keeping them, but they're never going to get unstuck unless they say it out loud. And then we try to show them that the community is actually grateful and there are people there to support and help you.
There are a lot of people with the same question, is where I can find resources.
It really depends. Usually there's many resources in the city. Definitely look, start with government resources. In Bogota, for example, they have Impulsa Colombia, Endeavor, Andy. The universities usually have resources as well. In DC, government is a good place to start. But then also look at, what are the events happening, like meetup.com, or look at Eventbrite. Like, what are the entrepreneurship events happening? And then go to them. Start meeting the people, and slowly you're going to start finding out, like, what are the resources that they're finding? And then they just, ask people, and they'll be more than likely they're happy to share.
I feel today in a master class with you, I really appreciate the details that you bring to the table. Just to say, I believe that there is a lot of noise about how to use digital marketing tools to promote the business. But based on your background, what recommendation do you have for small business owners?
Right. And I'll probably separate it into branding and digital marketing. I feel like lots of the mistakes people make early on is, they try to use a gmail.com address, a yahoo.com address, and, you can get a website domain for $10. You can probably get Google G Suite for $5 a month or something. And then, just something as simple as having a branded email account can go a long way in terms of giving the perception that, you're professional, that you're serious about this business without having to do more than, you don't even have to incorporate. You can already get that stuff to begin and to test. Also, if you can have a website, there are free tools out there to host it for free. So definitely try to have something up, even if it's a Wix website or a Squarespace website, anything to just, because people apparently look that up, and that's the first indicator of, all right, is this person legit or not? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to build trust. You want people to trust you to give you their money. For marketing specifically, I would say, listen, there's Twitter, there's Pinterest, there's so many channels out there. Pick one to start with and then focus on making that good. Because I remember early on, oh my God, I have to get Facebook, I have to get Twitter and LinkedIn and Pinterest and Instagram. And I didn't have time to update them all. And so when people look, I'm like, oh, look, Facebook is okay, but his Instagram kind of sucks. So I don't know about him. So, and don't fall into the trap of having to be everywhere. Just focus on the channels that or you have a sense of where your target audience or market is going to be. And then start with one and then expand as you're able to. But don't be like, oh, I have to get it all. Maybe if you want to save the name, right? Then, okay, create it and then keep it as a closed private account so people can't see, but then just focus on the one where it's going to bring you the most money. Another tip is, I think this is more strategy than an actual tactical advice, is it's like dating with customers. You're not going to ask somebody to marry you on your first date. So with marketing, it's all about connecting with people, engaging, seeing if they're a good fit for your product. And then over time, you'll know if when is the right time to propose or to ask for that sale. But I see many people, the first mistake that they do very early on is, oh my God, I think they're interested. I'm gonna make the ask. But when you ask somebody to marry you on your first date, they're probably going to say no. So I think at the very least, the strategy is build a relationship with them, find out if it's for them, and ideally then you move towards making a sale.
Next, we have fast questions. Basically, I will ask you random questions, and you will respond as fast as you can. Okay?
Oh
Steve?
man, I'm gonna see how fast I am.
Okay, absolutely. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Entrepreneur, traveler, and positive thinker.
What is your biggest addiction?
Biggest addiction. I'm a foodie at heart. I love to eat food.
Morning or night?
Morning.
What was the last film that you watched?
Last film. Asian film called Immortal Demon Slayer.
2 things you will change about yourself.
I think I would make more time for self-care. And the other one, unplug myself more.
What are you currently learning?
So I'm learning how to be an angel investor.
Do you have a favorite type of music?
Classical music.
What objects or things has more value for you?
For me, it's all about relationships.
Okay, what superpower do you want to get?
The ability to travel across space and time instantly.
Okay, what is the one thing you have always wanted to do?
Visit the Amazons.
What would you do with your 15 minutes of fame?
15 minutes. I've learned to always send the elevator back down. So giving thanks to the people who have helped me along the way, because I'm sure I didn't do it alone.
That's important. Who do you admire the most?
There's a few for different reasons. Most recently, Melissa Bradley, who's an angel investor, serial entrepreneur, and just very community focused on how do we help everyone get access to resources, not just the select few. And then Guy Kawasaki, who is just amazing at, being real and just, how to do great pitches and all.
Wow. And what is your favorite summer activity?
Favorite summer activity? I guess just traveling.
Steven, thank you very much for attending to the program Telescope. For me, it's an honor to get you in the program. I just want also to mention where the people can find your information, can find the resources, and also the events that you're organizing right now.
Yeah, so right now we for DC specifically, or the Washington DC region and Bogota, Colombia, suego.co, suego.co. And then I also recently joined Techstars, or anything related to entrepreneurship and ecosystem building, techstars.com. So techstars.com.
And also the company that you have about digital marketing. Maybe some people are interested to do some things with their own projects.
Yeah, so that's Bloomshift. So bloomshift.com, BLOOM, shift, SHIFT.com.
I hope you enjoyed this interview and see you in the next entrepreneurship event.
All right, see you then.
Telescope Podcast. Our mission is to create a community of entrepreneurs in the DC metro area to support ideas and projects in the early stage of business by organizing events, workshops, and trainings for the community. Our vision is to become the best bilingual podcast listened to in DC metro area. Our purpose is to inspire people showcasing entrepreneurship models and products based on the real example at successful business cases.